Moses Itauma will be taking a huge step up in competition against Filip Hrgovic on the 29th of August this weekend. And it's quite a big fight for the 21-year-old. He's going up against 34-year-old, a veteran at this point. He's a veteran of heavyweight boxing, I'd say, at this point, even though he hasn't had a world championship fight yet. Hrgovic, he's been around the block, but he's gonna be fighting a guy who's 13 years his younger. I mean, he's gonna be lacking in athleticism against Moses Itauma, that's for sure. So this fight's gonna be happening in the O2 Arena. We got Hrgovic coming on a 3-fight win streak. He lost to Daniel Dubois a couple years ago by TKO. I believe it was stopped just based on cuts, because his face was all cut up and bruised up. And then obviously we got Moses Itauma coming off a KO, a couple KOs, most recently against Jermaine Franklin. He's the heavyweight guy that everyone's talking about. Him and Caballel, they are poised to be the next up and comers. Now that being said, I think it is a pretty tough fight. I mean, Hrgovic is no slouch. He's shown he's got a great heart. I mean, he was wobbled against Dubois so many times in that loss, and he took some massive shots against a big heavy hitter like Dubois, and he didn't buckle that easily. He obviously did get stopped, but he fought Big Bang Zhang, and he won that fight despite getting dropped twice, I believe it was. So he had to overcome those odds. It was a tough scrap against Big Bang Zhang, but he proved to be the more active fighter, the more busy fighter, which isn't really gonna play into this fight. The only real similarity between Big Bang Zhang and Moses Itauma is that they're both southpaws. But other than that, they're quite different. Zhang is obviously a lot bigger. He's fat. He's quite slow, heavy-handed. I think probably more heavy-handed than Moses Itauma, to be honest. Itauma's very explosive. He's very athletic. He's very fast. Got fast twitch muscle fibers, as they say. But yeah, that's not the right fight to be looking at. But that's just an example of Filip Hrgovic's heart. I don't think, I'm seeing people online say, Moses Itauma's going to smoke him. He's going to prove that he's going to, that he belongs in the heavyweight division. And he certainly does belong on top of the heavyweight division. He's only 21 and he's already, making waves. He's going to be fighting for a title, I believe, after this fight if he wins. So, good on him. Now, that being said, I'm still not convinced. He still. This might sound strange, but he seems a bit weak. He seems a bit young, not physically imposing. I mean, that makes sense. He's very young, but he's not physically imposing like the other heavyweights. I think Hrgovic is gonna feel bigger in there, if that makes sense. He's gonna have more thud behind his shots. He's gonna pick his shots better. I think Moses might waste quite a lot of energy, and if this gets dragged into the later rounds, that might be a problem for him. Now, Hrgovic, he's got a lot of scar tissue on his face. He's a very cut up guy. He's always had some issues with cuts opening up, and that might be a factor. But I think it's going to be a tough fight for either guy. I don't think either guy's going to win this easily. Hrgovic is going to be, fighting a guy who's just like in the prime of his youth. This guy is going to be coming at him like a raging bull. This guy's going to be relentless, I think. But if he uses his experience, he's 34. He's had plenty of in-time experience. He's fought some great, top-level talent like Daniel Dubois, like Big Bang Zhang. He's fought, who was his last fight? He's fought Joe Joyce. He fought against David Allen, which, I don't rate those 2 wins, especially now, because those guys were coming off the tail end of their career. But still, these are also guys who've been around the block now. Moses Itauma, he's coming off stopping Jermaine Franklin. I believe did Dillian White as well. That's some good good competition there. Not quite as good as I'd say Hrgovic, but that is of course because he's 21. Obviously, that's sort of the big thing is that he's so young and he's got such a future in the heavyweight division. Win, lose or draw in this fight, he's definitely going to be staying in the heavyweight division. We'll be seeing him more. Now that being said, it's really tough to call because it's a heavyweight fight and anything can happen in a heavyweight fight. So, Am I going to go with the favorite? I think I'm going to go with the favorite. I'm going to go with Moses Itauma. I won't be surprised if Hrgovic turns this into a dogfight. I won't be surprised if Hrgovic lands a couple great shots that stun or wobble Moses Itauma. First round, second round, I can see Moses Itauma getting caught with something sneaky. Maybe a sneaky uppercut as he's coming in, or a backhand off of the southpaw versus orthodox stance. But then he's going to have to show some heart, and which we haven't really seen yet. We haven't seen him be dragged into a dogfight before. And that's where I think he might shine or might wilt. Because you never know these young fighters. They could be, they could have hearts, lion hearts, or they could have, nothing in there. Compared to Hrgovic, who we know will stay in there until the last possible moment. So, if Moses wins, he's going to have to deserve the win. He's going to have to earn the win. Compared to Hrgovic, where if he wins, I think it will be like a surprise, knockdown, a surprise KO, maybe TKO up against the ropes. The ref seen enough. He's a young guy. He doesn't want to have him take too much damage so early in his career. But, like I said, it's heavyweight boxing. You could just wing an overhand and someone could just win. That's just how it is these days, It's how it's always been, really. But, yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting fight. I like this fight. It's good. It's good for the heavyweight division. We got finally Moses Itauma moving up. He's been calling out Usyk, but I don't know. No one knows what's happening with Usyk anymore. I mean, this guy's basically retired without even calling himself retired. We don't know what's happened with anyone. We don't know what's happening with Fury and AJ. So it's good that we have some real heavyweight boxing. It's a great fight. I'm a big fan of this fight. And, we got a good Frank Sanchez fight against the winner, which I'm saying Itauma right now. So it's going to set up a great fight against Frank Sanchez. Maybe that might be in America. Might be, maybe his time to shine in America. I believe that'll be for a title fight as well. If I remember correctly, IBF is ordering that fight sometime later this year in autumn or winter, depending on how this fight goes, if they don't get too bruised up. So yeah, but that's good. Frank Sanchez also a great fighter. I think, honestly, I think either one of these guys beats Frank Sanchez. So, just to preview that fight there. I think Sanchez, he's coming off a great KO against the American fella, I believe Torres' his name, Richard Torres. But yeah, I think this side of the pond, I think the heavyweight is just quite a big step ahead of the rest. The European heavyweights, they've been running the show for quite a while compared to the American and the Latin American side, because I believe he's Cuban. So yeah, it's gonna be great fun. I'm a big fan. I got Itauma. He's gonna have to win by a dogfight though. I think it's gonna be tough. I think Hrgovic will he might even put him down. He's gonna force this to be a tough fight, because that's just the kind of guy Filip Hrgovic is. He got a great chin, a great heart. So if Itauma wins, he's gonna have to do it late. I think maybe past round 6, maybe round 8 stoppage. If not, he could do it early. That would be exciting. That would show how exciting the heavyweight division is gonna be. But best luck to both men. Hopefully it's a good fight. We need some fire in the heavyweight division for once. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys agree. And yeah, comment, sub. Goodbye.